So if you're just getting into photography and you don't have a bunch of money to spend on a high-end DSLR and expensive Canon L series glass or whatever else, the Moment lens is a great place to start. I'm sure you've seen them before. If not, hey, welcome. Here's a really cool product that is a part of my workflow, and I really love it for on the go. And I probably first heard about them maybe about 6 or 8 months ago, and I've always been like super anti, let me strap something extra on my phone. I broke down and I got it because I just really wanted to try them out. All the YouTubers were talking about it, and wow, I'm like so impressed. I made this video a couple months back about how to balance your Moment lens on a smartphone gimbal, and I've been getting a lot of requests to just answer a few more questions or provide some tips and tricks. So that's what this video is. I said in that last video that this isn't a product review channel. It's not what its intention is. I didn't intend for this to be a product review channel. But the products that I am talking about are things that I really love to use and things that have made my workflow a little bit easier, or just, hey, maybe I don't want to carry around my DSLR all the time. And I can throw this in my pocket. I've already got the case on my phone, and it's pretty easy. So if you're unfamiliar with the Moment lens, let me just kind of give you a quick breakdown. Moment's been around for a few years, and they've had a few different iterations of their lenses. And the most recent version, they've come in a few different focal lengths. I've got the 18mm wide angle lens and a 60mm telephoto. And between these two, I can pretty much get whatever I want in combination with the two different cameras on my iPhone 10. If I want a little bit of a telephoto, I'll put it on the the main camera. If I want to go even further, I'll put it on the iPhone's telephoto, and that gets me much further away than just that telephoto lens on its own. If you're thinking about picking them up, there's a link below. You'll get 10% off, so take the money and get the 10% off. It does help me out a little bit, but it's really more about the 10% for you. So each lens comes with its own lens cap, as well as a little pouch to store it in. These are great to just throw it in your pocket. This way you'll protect both ends of the lens, not just the front optical element, but you'll also protect the back of the glass too, which is important. If you just throw this in your pocket, you're gonna eventually get a bunch of dust in here, and the little pouch helps. Now the case is pretty simple case, nice all black case. Phone will easily come in and out. It's got some nice protection back here to keep the back of the glass, if you've got one of the newer iPhones, nice and clean. The lenses screw in on these holes here, and you just line them up with, there's a little line here on the lens itself, there's a little line up here, and they go in real easy. You just screw them on, and that's that. Now pop your phone in, and you're good to go. So this is the telephoto. Wide angle lens works exactly the same way. They also have a superfish, and I think the anamorphic lens is coming out in a couple months, which is a more cinematic lens, gives you those horizontal lens flares, and I cannot wait to get it. So the wide lens is also really great if you're just starting to get into vlogging, or maybe you want to step up your Instagram story game a little bit. Grab the wide lens or even the fisheye. The fisheye definitely widens things up, but there's a little bit of lens distortion there that you'll get if you get real close. It has a nice slimming effect on your face, but the normal wide lens compared to the superfish really just kind of did the trick for me, and it was doing everything that I needed it to do without distorting the lens too much. And what I mean by that is just sort of, let's say that you're shooting like a cityscape, got big tall buildings. With the superfish, those straight edges, they just really start to bow a little bit, and even with all the corrections that you can do in Lightroom to the geometry of your photo, it just doesn't really pull it back to straight. So the wide lens does that for me, and I've been really happy with it. These lenses are only about $100. The case costs $30. for me, it was definitely worth the investment, and it's a good stepping stone if you don't have a DSLR now, but you think that that's what you want to do, rather than buying, like a $600 or $700, low-end DSLR. You could kind of start out with those moment lenses. When you combine that with an app like ProCam or an app like the one that Moment has, where you start to be able to play around with manual controls, you really start to learn, that pyramid of shutter speed and ISO speed and aperture, and that triangle of composing a high resolution image that is highly editable afterwards. Basically, all my friends who are like, oh wow, what camera should I get, or I don't have a big budget, I'm telling them to start with the Moment lens and really figure out, hey, do you like it or not? Because this is, for a lot of people, this is low impact. I mean, spending a couple $100 on lenses in a case, even if you just started with the wide lens and the case, we're talking about $130, and it makes a huge difference to what you can capture, and it really just, it sets your images apart from, maybe your friends, or sets them apart from what you're, maybe normally seeing on Instagram. Remember, Instagram's view of your photo is pretty darn small, so you don't really have to worry about people zooming way in and pixel peeping and making sure that every little last detail was perfect. Those small images really hide a lot of the noise if you're not quite getting it just right yet. But when you throw, even if you just threw some filters on from the stock, iPhone photo app, if you didn't have your Lightroom subscription or something like that, it really makes a huge difference. So here's a handful of photos. I stayed in the same spot, just swapped out the lenses. You'll see a wide lens, the iPhone with just no Moment lens on it whatsoever, a telephoto, and then I moved the telephoto onto the secondary lens on the iPhone, the telephoto lens on the iPhone. So here, check it out.